So you're planning your first Camino and you're looking at all your equipment, and hopefully you're thinking about how will I carry water and how much water should I carry? That's what we're going to talk about this week, coming right up. So how much water to carry? Oh, this causes such debates online. So look, I do not confess to be any sort of an expert, but I will share my experience in hydration and carrying water on Camino. If you have walked Caminos yourself, do comment down below. And I will also share a link at the end with an interview that I did earlier this year with an ER doctor talking about hydration, and that has some great tips as well. So, why is water important? Well, if you've ever been seriously hydrated, it ain't fun. I've been close to it a couple of times on the Camino, and I tell you, I do not want to be in that situation again. Severe hydration is life-threatening. Mild hydration is darn uncomfortable. So to stay healthy and comfortable, you need to have plenty of water. So how much to allow? You'll read accounts of people online who say, I only carry a 500 ml bottle on the Camino Francis, end to end, and it's fine, I top up in the villages and all the rest of it. I'm sorry, but those people will be walking dehydrated some of the time. That's just not enough water. Okay, if you disagree, do comment down below. I just can't see how that would work. It might work on a lot of the sections, but certainly wouldn't work for me. So how much water do I allow? I've worked out over the last 3 Caminos what's a sort of comfort level for me, and a litre of water will last me 10 kilometres. Very rough. And I've talked with a lot of people online, and they kind of come up with similar sorts of figures. Obviously, it's depending on the weather, it's depending on how fast you're walking, how fit you are, many different things. Some people will say they drink a certain amount per hour. I've worked it out to about a litre per 10 kilometres. So I'm not walking much more than 20-25 k's a day, so I really only need to carry a couple of litres for the whole day. I don't. I generally will carry sort of 1.5 litres. What I'm doing though is I'm looking at my guidebook to see where the villages are, where the water points are, and I'm planning my water so that I'm not going to run out through the day. So obviously if every hour I'm going to be coming to villages, then yeah, I don't need to carry much. I can probably carry 500 mils. If I'm going to be walking 20 k's before the next water point, that's going to take me 3 or 4 hours. I'm going to carry at least 2 litres of water. So do think ahead, get used to how much water you consume, what you feel comfortable with. If you want to look at the different sort of water carrying systems, we'll put a link up here. I've tried water bladders. It was great on my first Camino, but I don't use them anymore. So that video will explain why. I've tried water bottles, I've tried water tubes, all sorts of different things. I've discovered what works for me, but if you have a look at that video, you can sort of look at the different options and decide what's going to work for you. One of the things to think about with water, of course, is not just how much you're going to carry and how you're going to carry it, but where are you going to top up. So again, if you're looking at your guidebook, any of the good guidebooks will show things like water fonts, which are basically just potable water taps that pilgrims can access. Very often in villages, there'll be a fountain in the village or something, or there'll be a water tap and it will say potable water, so you can top up your bottles there. You will come across cafes where you can buy water. I don't like buying bottled water though. It's not good for the environment, Single-use plastic bottles, yeah, I carry single-use water bottles, but I keep topping them up. And I actually bring a couple of bottles from Australia because I like the size of them and they're ultra lightweight and they last my whole Camino. I just keep topping them up. So I'm topping up from water fountains, I'm topping up from my accommodation, all sorts of places along the way. I'm not necessarily carrying my full day's worth of water Although on my next Camino, I probably will have to more and more because I'm walking the Via de la Plata, and the research that I've done would seem to indicate that when I start out in the morning, I may not come across any water sources until I finish in the afternoon. So do your research about that kind of thing. So lots and lots of places to top up. But as I mentioned at the outset, a couple of times I have got fairly dehydrated, and it was not fun. You know, you get headaches, you get muscle problems, all sorts of issues can occur. It's just not worth it. It can actually lead to blisters, apparently, dehydration as well. So let me just remind you then, there's an interview with an ER doctor as well. We'll put that link up there. So you know, you can get the professional opinion on hydration and dehydration, rather, heat stroke, all that sort of stuff, and how to avoid it. So there you go. Oh, one last tip. I actually found a way to reduce my water requirements a little bit, and that's carrying an umbrella. So I carry an umbrella not to keep the rain off, it's to keep the sun off. And I found I don't quite need as much water. I mean, I'm not limiting my water intake, I just don't go through as much water when I'm using my umbrella. So yeah, that's another way of managing your water intake as well. So there we go. How much water to carry? You'll work it out for yourself, but for me, I go about 10 k's on a litre. So hopefully that's helpful. Do comment down below if you've got any other tips on water, how much to carry, how you like to carry it. And otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye for now.